against the violence and for peace. This goal that I have the privilege to head this government, that I have the privilege to head together with my friend Shimon Peres, we decided to give peace a chance. For peace that will be here in the state of Israel. I was in the army for 27 years. I fought as long as there was no chance for peace. I believe that there is a chance for peace, a great chance. And we must take advantage of it. For those who are standing here, for those who are not standing here, there's hope. I always believed that most of the people in Israel wants peace, is willing to give peace a chance. And here, by being here today in this rally, prove together with others who are not here, that the people indeed wants peace and opposes violence. Violence is the erosion of the foundation of Israeli democracy. It must be condemned, denounced, isolated. It is not the way of the state of Israel. The Israeli government is announcing, shockingly, with terrible sorrow, of the death of the Prime Minister and Ministry of Defense, Yitzhak Rabin, who was assassinated tonight in Tel Aviv. May his memory be of peace. We are not going to interpret the song. Please enjoy the music.
מלילות האימה הגדולים את כולם, את יפי הבלורית והתואר, כי רעות שכזאת לעולם לא תיתן את ליבנו לשכוח. אהבה מקודשת בדם, את תשובי בינינו לפרוח. אהבה מקודשת בדם, את תשובי בינינו לפרוח.
Good evening. 30 years ago, on this sidewalk we're now standing, the Israeli society changed. 30 years after 3 bullets went through the body of the Prime Minister and Ministry of Defense, Yitzhak Rabin, we are different. We are older, parents, grandparents, citizens who went through many tragedies. The sidewalk is the same sidewalk. The place is different. They say time heals, maybe helps forgetting. We haven't forgotten, and healing hasn't happened. I have no assets. I only have dreams to give to the future generations a better world, more in peace, pleasant to live in. It's not a lot, said Yitzhak Rabin in 1994. That was the year when the peace agreement with Jordan was signed. The Bezek company printed a special edition of telecard cards with the picture of Rabin and I have it since I was 16. Today there's no more telecard, but I would like my daughter to be able to hold something like that closer to her heart, something that will enable her to see a better future, something to remind her that a leader must act for the benefit of such better future. But Rabin's vision for a better world, his brave leadership that was not afraid to look at the conflict straight in the eyes, understanding that peace has a price, but it is better than the atrocities of war. That was all cut off by a terrible violence that brought about a moral disaster. We've been seeing a long process that has been systematic in order to kill all prospect of future, peace, leadership. Humanistic values became political, gave way to racism, messianism, lack of taking responsibility. The violence became a way of life. The call for peace has become a crazy dream. 2 years after the massacre of October 7, when some of our brothers are still kidnapped and held in Gaza, such a great sorrow here on what we could have been, what we lost by enabling or letting those who are all about separatism to dictate the future. 30 years after a condemned Jew killed a prime minister, the Israeli society finds itself in a huge crisis, licking his wounds from the most terrible tragedy that happened to the Jewish people since the Holocaust. A rolling disaster that brings about more blood and more blood. Victories are not absolute. Erasing the other side is not a solution to the conflict. Rabin knew it back then. He said it with bravery on top of this stage. He wasn't a prophet. He was a leader who loved people. in his heart. And in order to have a chance for healing, for resurrection, we have to shout here as we did 3 decades ago, yes for peace, no for violence. Without fear, it is our responsibility, fellow citizens, to remind the leadership today what its role is, to promise us a better world, a world more in peace, a world that is pleasant. It's not too much. Yehuda Amichai, the poet, wrote, I, the living, I say, peace is on me. I want peace now. While I'm still alive, I do not want to live the prophet of my parents that life is war. I want peace with all my heart, with all my body, with all my soul. Peace is on me. Which is a play on words of may his memory be of peace. Thank you, Shlomit Aaron, for opening the rally by singing Shir HaReut. I would like to invite now Mr. Yair Lapid, the head of the opposition and Yesh Atid party. The crowd is shouting, yes for peace, no for violence. Good evening. The 3 bullets that were shot here in the square aimed at assassinating not just a leader, but an idea. This is the meaning of a political assassination, to kill a man and to kill an idea. A man is assassinated. Our responsibility is to make sure that the idea is still alive. Yigal Amir did not try to assassinate just the Oslo process. He was trying to assassinate a greater idea, the idea that a state can be both strong and peace-seeking, national and liberal, and mainly Jewish and democratic at the same time. 3 bullets in this square said here, if there's a contradiction between Judaism and democracy, Judaism comes first. If you don't accept that, we'll shot you in the back. And for that, we need to say here in the square, this is not Judaism. This is not the Judaism of the great majority of the citizens of the State of Israel. Those extremists who represent it do not speak for all of them. Here in the square, the Judaism did not shot. The Judaism was the one being shot. It was the one being assassinated. After the assassination of Rabin, religious Jews all over the State of Israel, good, decent, religious Jews said again and again, this is not Judaism. If we knew where it was going through, we would have spoken earlier. I tell them from here, look around you right now. What happened earlier is happening again here. We are losing the idea of Judaism again. We're making it violent, hateful, something that tears us apart. Yigal Amir is not Judaism. Racism, violent racism by Tamar Ben-Gvir is not Judaism. Those who suggest throwing atomic bomb on Gaza is not Jewish. The violence of the settlers is not Judaism. Judaism is not in the hands of the extremists, those who do not serve in the army. They don't own it. We don't accept lessons from them. We don't buy values from them. Unlike them, we listen to the God of the Jewish people who said, those who shed blood, whose blood will shed, because God made man in his own image. Against this holy value, they posed a question on which they based 40 years of incitement. They asked, what are you, Jewish or Israeli? No one has put me here to speak for Rabin, but I think I know what he would have answered. He would have said, in his very rough way, it's a silly question. It's a dumb question. I because I'm Jewish. Zionism is a Jewish movement. The Declaration of Independence is based on the Bible. Democracy is based on the we are here to defend in the army the land of our fathers. Those who are trying to say otherwise are agents of hatred. To be the fighter who has led the Harel division in the independence war is a Jewish deed. To be the chief of staff who liberated the wall is a Jewish deed. To seek peace is a Jewish deed. To accept the fact that some people think differently than us, and yet we have to work with them for the benefit of the country we all love. That's a Jewish deed. To go out on October 8th to help your people, just like Achim Laneshek, brothers in arms, that's a Jewish deed. To defend civil rights of the foreigners who live among us. 20% of Israeli citizens who are not Jewish. This is a Jewish deed. It's a Jewish duty to fight for the kidnapped, for the hostages is a Jewish deed. To be like Gadi Moses, who came back from Gaza and said, I'm going to rebuild Nir Oz, that's a Jewish deed. This is what Judaism does. To stand on top of the grave of your son, like Rabbi Danino or Daniel, and say and talk about compassion and forgiving. This is the essence of being Jewish. There's no war in the state of Israel between Jews and other Jews, because it cannot. We have people who are Jewish against people who twist Judaism and make it violent and hate and full of hate. These people sit in the government today too. But from here, we swear, Yitzhak, for Jews, for Israelism, for our children, we will leave Israel behind. We will lead it on a new road. Today, on this place, two of the greatest moments of crisis converged, the assassination of Rabin and October 7th. On this here, we don't only talk about Rabin, we want to draw strength from him. He taught us, when you see something dangerous, stand in front of it. When you see something that doesn't work well, fix it. If you lose your way, go back to the starting point and start again. And above all, he told us, despair is the greatest gift we can give to our enemies. The hope, the belief will bring about the victory on the image of the state of Israel, the struggle on the image of the state of Israel. Thank you very much. The crowd is shouting, yes for peace, no for violence.
חובל קברניט שלי, סופה כבר שכחה, אל הנמל שבעת קרבות, חותרת ספינתך, זרע פרחים, פעמונים, המון אדם צועד, כאשר ספינת הקרב שלך קרבה אל הנמל. אבוי ליבי, 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 או כתם דם שוטר, אשר עבר חובל שלי הקשב לכל פעמון, לך כל הדגלים כולם, לך תרועות המון, רק לכבודך ביום חגך ינוע כאן, ובקולם תקוות עולם לנס המיוחד. אבוי ליבי ליבי ליבי, או כתם דם שוטר, באשר עבר חובל שלי צונח קר ומת. ליבי ליבי ליבי, או כתם דם שוטר, אוריו חובל אבי שלי, זרועי תתמוך ראשך, סיוטו לראותך פתאום נופל על סיפונך. רב החובל אינו עונה, שפתיו חברו ילמו, הוא לא יחוש מגע ידי, הוא לא ייתן לי יום. אבוי ליבי ליבי ליבי, או כתם דם שוטר, באשר עבר חובל שלי צונח קר ומת. ליבי ליבי ליבי, או כתם דם שוטר, עוגנת הספינה לבטח, המסע הושלם, נוצחו כל סכנות הדרך, כל אימי הים, שבנמל קהל יצעד, אני אצעד אבן, על הסיפון עליו נפל אוויר החובל. אבוי ליבי ליבי ליבי, או כתם דם שוטר, באשר עבר חובל שלי צונח קר ומת. ליבי ליבי ליבי, או כתם דם שוטר.
Thank you, Or Amrami Gutman. It's my privilege to invite to this stage Chief of Staff of the past, Mr. Gadi Eisenkot. Shavua Tov, good evening, everyone. To you who came here to remember and remind who Yitzhak Rabin.
רבין היה בצמתים החשובים ביותר של בניין ישראל, רמטכ"ל הניצחון של מלחמת ששת הימים, ראש הממשלה שאישר את מבצע אנטבה, והראשון להצביע על האיום האיראני. כבר ב-73, מר ביטחון אמיתי, כזה שישראל משוועת לו היום. רבין נקרא לעמוד בראשות הממשלה שהחליפה את ממשלת המחדל ב-73. אלו היו ימים אחרים, בהם האחריות נלקחה במילים ובמעשים. אחריות שישראל משוועת לה היום.
That Israel is thirsty for.
כמעט 20 שנים חלפו עד שרבין יכהן שוב כראש הממשלה.
Went by until Rabin was the prime minister again. This time, the state of Israel and the world discovered Rabin as a statesman, a person who could navigate, take difficult decisions, and make things happen, leadership that Israel is thirsty for today. We are after 2 years of terrible, bleeding war that started with the most terrible tragedy in the history of the State of Israel. Many have jumped into the fire out of love for this country and arvut adadit and caring for one each other. The losses that we faced did not distinguish between religious and non-religious, city or village, Jew, Muslim, Druze, or Christian. The covenant between those who serve the country expressed itself in the most painful way. We shouldn't let this solidarity disappear after the war ends. The fighters did and are doing what they're assigned with, and now it is our duty to establish an inquiry committee. And a law of enlisting in the army that would be equal for all. The assassination of Rabin was the result of incitement. 30 years later, we have the same warning light bleeping at us. Those who serve no one, but those who wish to have a headline for a minute and authority. They have no connection to us, the people who serve, who loves, who is life-seeking. This people is worthy of leadership that would lead together by doing to correction and to rehabilitation in security, in the economy, in the education, and throughout our life. Together, we will create a different reality of those that we have lived through in the last 2 years. The State of Israel is a well-known miracle, the return of the Jewish people to its land, a miracle that is still alive while being surrounded by enemies, a miracle that became an island of advancement and relies on the blood and sweat of many others. If we are indeed life-seeking, it is time to do what we need to start working for fixing, healing, rehabilitating. The heritage that Rabin left us is clear. It combines security and statehood out of strength, defending ourselves by ourselves, and being committed to peace from a standing point of strength. The condition is for Israel to keep its identity as a Jewish, democratic, formal state. I hold on to those values. They are an inseparable part of us. Our people knows how to rise. We will rise. We will bring on the change. We will fix. It is possible. It is in our hands. We will get on the right way again. We continue the Zionism that unifies, that looks into the eyes of the citizen and acts for, will know to give the Israel the leadership that it deserves. I've been serving for 1 years the state and the army as a soldier and a politician, and I swear that I will continue serving them forever. Together with you, we'll secure a way that will unify and lead Israel with strength, with peace, and with hope. May the memory of Yitzhak Rabin in our heart, in our deeds, we will see better days. We will bring them about. Thank you.
קהל נכבד, אי אפשר להתחיל לדבר על רבין מבלי להזכיר שלא רחוק מכאן עדיין מפגינים למען שחרורם של חטופינו, עדיין נאבקים אזרחים טובים ומסורים ובני משפחות מוכי יגון כדי שבניהם יחזרו. אנחנו לא נוותר, לעולם לא נוותר, עד האחרון. חברות וחברים, 30 שנה חלפו מאז שלוש היריות ההן, קולן טרם נדם. הן מהדהדות עד היום בכל מעשיה של הממשלה הזאת.
They echo in everywhere where the democracy is being trashed. Every time they call patriots traitors. Every time they hit protesters that act their citizens' duty. They detain people, they shut down the press, they dismantle the judiciary, and they disrespect public servers. Rabin was the hero of Israel, not because he was born that way, because he was a person of truth, a person of cruel truth that chose again and again to put the benefit of the people before his own personal benefit, before his own personal earnings. He knew that peace is not weakness, but force and strength. Rabin understood that peace is not soul-searching, but the ultimate security. And those who look for real security have to understand that the state has no existence when it lives on solely the sword. And peace is the only way to make sure that young people in Israel will not have to pay again for the price of his absence. Rabin knew that real peace does not come after an ending war. It was of truth, and therefore he was courageous. He declared that the security of Israel comes before everything. It is above and beyond politics. You cannot manage the conflict. You have to solve it, and not for the Palestinians, but for ourselves, to secure a better future for our children, because this is what a good state has to do, and this is what Rabin tried to do. Real unity does not happen when we give up our spine of values and unify around a lie. A real unity is only when we stand together, most of the people, strong for truth, with a democratic spine, full of values, made of steel. For too many years, we gave up our spine, up values. We gave up ourselves in order to be nice and stay out of conflict. But today, we say clearly, no more. We will not give up. We will fight for our way, because this is our way. We will not bend again against hatred and racism. We will not be nice to corrupted ones. Our unity is one of democratic values, liberal values, the values of a Jewish democratic state, a unity of way of bravery on the front line and in statehood, a way of loving each other, of truth Zionism. The crowd is shouting democracy. We we will stand strong with open hearts and will fight for a democratic, liberal, equal state that will be secure, not in order to win over another camp, but in order to save the state of Israel. And yes, I do have some good news. I do have some good news. Friends, there will be unity, real unity, unity of liberal democracy and real Zionism, unity of believers in a national inquiry committee, unity in security, unity in those who carry the weight of the state with no differences of race or religion, the unity of the truth speakers, those who are democratic in their soul. This is the only real unity that can secure the existence of the state of Israel forever. I came here tonight to speak about truth, about bravery, about being a role model. In the days of the application of the Oslo Accords, days of terrorism and complexity, I was a high officer in the West Bank. I saw Rabin working with lots of he was detail orientation. He carried the responsibility, see it on his shoulders, on his face. You could see the stress, the tension of the chances of success of a courageous step to which he stepped with open eyes. Terribly. His time was limited, too limited. Rabin was a victim of the nationalistic messianic violence that were encouraged by what Rabin hated most, the being demagogues, being later, I saw Rabin in the operation for the liberation of Nachshon Waxman. Again, looking at all the details, taking a courageous decision and carrying the responsibility for its results. He was a role model for a leader. And this should carry us forward towards a future of security, peace, education, health, excellent infrastructures, a future of equal rights for every child, and a future of life worth living. More than ever, Israel needs leaders who are motivated by the same values, by the same precepts that Rabin had, with the same moral spine: Zionist, Jewish, liberal, democratic. This is the leadership that we deserve. After years of terrible crisis, this is the leadership we must have in order to rise again, to rehabilitate. Together. This is the leadership that combines clarity, determination, being benevolent to each other, to every human, even if he is an enemy. Yes, if we have the courage, the determination, and the vision that Rabin had, we would be able to complete the work that he started and to give Israel the secure future on which he sacrificed his life, a future that we, our children and our grandchildren deserve, a future worth fighting for, a future of the victory of morality and spirit, the only future that is that Israel deserves. Thank you. the State of Israel announces in the death of the Prime Minister of Israel, Yitzhak Rabin, who was assassinated by Rabin died. It's a sad end. Heavy feeling. Heavy because I feel that I was forced to finish a job, finish my role before its due time. I think that the State of Israel might have lost the Prime Minister that had a better chance than anybody else to advance peace and finish war. The fact that one crazy person, political, mental, done that, that's terrible. But it could happen tomorrow in other places. I know that there's crazy incitement, verbal violence, violence on the streets. If there's violence in the Knesset, if there's violence in driving, the violence, just like discipline in the army, cannot be divided. Whoever wants to ignore, whoever wants to advance the peace and the beginning of the solution cannot ignore it. Something was broken. Something was broken in this moral precept word. Gadi, Gadi, be. Rabin is looking for a friend. And you here, by being in this rally, prove, together with other people who did not show up, that the people indeed wants peace and opposes violence. Violence is the erosion of the foundation of Israeli democracy. It must be condemned wisely. It must be denounced. It must be isolated. It is not the way of the State of Israel. I am happy to invite the ex-minister, Ms. Tzipi Livni. Thank you for coming. 30 years ago, Rabin was afraid that the square will be left empty. And 30 years later, you are here in order to complete the job that he hasn't been able to complete because of those 3 bullets. 30 years ago, they tried to kill democracy in 3 shots here in the square. And today, they are trying to kill it in 3 votes in the Knesset, in crazy bills, in threatening the gatekeepers by disrespecting the law and the joint values on which our state was founded. Then, 30 years ago, Rabin was assassinated, but democracy hasn't died. And today, we are fighting for its life, for our life in it. 30 years ago, they tried to assassinate with these 3 shots the peace as well. Today, they are disqualifying every chance for peace. Not only do they leave it alone, bleeding at the side of the road, but they make sure that no one would dare step closer to it or talk about it, because it might be blamed as being a soul-searching or lefty or traitor. But we will get closer to peace, because this is the future of our state. 30 years ago, They found in Rabin's pockets the words of the song Shir LaShalom, Song for Peace. It was covered with its blood. Don't say a day will come. Bring that day. And today, when peace became a bad word, a curse, people stay away from it as if it was political fire. I'm asking you, say, a day will come. Don't make people forget about peace. Act in order for it to come. It might not happen tomorrow, not with Hamas, and there will be security conditions, but our people needs hope. Yes, even after October 7, precisely after October 7. After the terrible massacre, some were quick to blame Oslo, again, almost gleefully. And now that we are after 2 years of war, strong, limitless, a war that was required against Hamas and its terrorists after 2 years of terrible prices, people killed, people wounded, prices that wonderful soldiers who ran in to save 2 years and not even all the hostages are back. And Hamas is still in Gaza. So after these 2 years, it's time to wake up from those lying prophets who say more force will bring big victory. That's a lie. The war hasn't finished because of the hostages, but because it had no justification without a political move. Hamas needs to be finished with and has to be replaced politically. But those who are escaping or running away from the moderate Palestinian Authority is leaving us with Hamas and is missing the greatest opportunity that the IDF created after the terrible crisis. After 2 years, instead of waking up from the dream of the absolute victory, it looks like we are very close to the victory of the extremists over the peace and the democracy. It's not going to happen. We're not going to let it happen, because if it does, it will be the victory of the extremists on both sides. And I'm not talking about the sides in Israel, but the extremists on both sides of the conflict, those who will turn it into religious and bleeding forever. Friends, the choice was never between rescuing the hostages and finishing with Hamas. That's another lie of this government. You don't need to choose, and you shouldn't separate between those who fight with bravery and those who fight for peace. These two complement each other. They should be able to live together in the same people, in the same person. This is what Rabin was. And tonight I choose hope. I am proud to be a part of the people who rose, who fought with bravery against its enemies, and in the most difficult days did not give up the solidarity or the hostages or the values of our state. You who came to the squares over those difficult years, you came tonight too to remember those who were and to fight together for what our country should become again. You are the hope. You are our hope here. You are the hope of every Jew in the world who are still Israel lovers. They see you, not the government. We are on a historic crossroad. And in this historic crossroad, the choice is between one of two options. Either a religious state, isolated, closed, no equality for minorities, without justice for the corrupted leaders or the fighters of the hills, a mixed country, or a Jewish democratic country, a startup nation, secure, open to the world, with a Jewish majority that has unity around the Declaration of the Independence, the basic document of the Jewish people, with equality for everyone in it. And we shouldn't forget the Declaration of Independence, which should be the nucleus of unity, also says we stretch our hand for the peace. That portion has to be a part of every unity in the people, has to be an inseparable part of our joint national vision. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves in the other state, and we shouldn't let that happen. And therefore, tonight, as you go back home, insert in your Waze application not just your home, but also our national vision, that we will not lose our way, get lost, that we would not let anyone take us to the other state. That, for me, is the meaning of the State of Israel, of the Israeli flag, of the people of Israel. And for that, we are. Thank you very much. Women make peace. We were led with bravery to an agreement, because only that will bring us a secure future for us, for our children, for our grandchildren. We cannot continue without state horizon. My child is not here anymore. Seek peace. Conflicts finish when leading women influence and create new reality. Give our kids a safe future. We won't give up. Hostages should come back as a part of the agreement.
Their empathy and their determination to end the conflict.
Women of the sun and women wage peace.
We choose to respond not by staying quiet, not by getting together, but by doing. Let's do it. We all deserve better life. For 11 years, we have been making peace, connecting, present, insisting, acting, calling for, and one step after another, acting for changing reality. Precisely now, especially now, making peace, continuing to influence, and together with you, we won't stop until we have a state agreement that will lead to quiet and security, especially now. Women wage peace. It's my privilege to invite Dr. Nasrin Haddad-Yijie, the Vice CEO of the New Israel Fund and the CEO of the NAS company. good evening, and in Arabic, good evening. We came here tonight for a joint pain that we hope to turn into healing and hope. After 2 years of fear, of blood, of staying quiet, we are finally breathing 1 minute. This fragile ceasefire is the hope we all cling to. It has to be a start, not a pause, but a start, opening the way for peace, of change, going back to sanity, for life that has future in it. What Rabin taught us, for us, the Arab people, includes also painful periods of his life. He was a militant, but we remember Rabin because he had the bravery we don't see very often in politics, the bravery to change his mind, to change his direction. He changed his direction when it came to relationship between Jews and Arabs. In the Nazareth assembly for election, he apologized for years of lack of equality. And young Arab people, for the first time, started serving in the public server. It wasn't a chance, it was a part of his vision of a true democracy that includes all citizens, Jews and Arabs. That's the bravery that we miss. That's the courage that we need today too. Friends, I am here tonight with the blessing of those who haven't been invited. The leaders of the Arab public should have been standing here on this stage. Those who want to build a better future has to stretch a hand for a Jewish-Arab cooperation that would be overt, not behind closed doors, not only when it's convenient, not only after surveys. You build cooperation together because democracy is for everyone, or it's not democracy at all. Democracy is also in Kaplan, also in Kfar Kasem, in Sakhnin, in Rahat. These are Arab and Bedouin towns in Israel. I am here because this connection is easy, and connecting is courage, and we choose courage. We choose a newer way, but one that is more correct, a way that will take us towards future of prosperity, not secure. Even those who threat to take the right of the right to vote without us, if anybody thinks they can live in democracy with the rest of the citizens, we are here, and we are here to stay. I am here to tell you the truth, a courageous truth that Rabin understood and internalized. A government cannot decline or not disinclude the representatives of the Arab society. A strong democracy is only when everyone is equal. A democracy is strong when there's no occupation. Democracy is strong only when everyone, all of us, have security, and that includes the villages in the Negev, in the Galilee, and in the center of Israel, the Arab villages, the Arab communities. Friends, we are not the threat, we are the opportunity. We who speak the two languages, the two cultures, both pains, both dreams, we can be the bridge to connect. But a bridge connects only if both sides dare step on it. I am asking you to stretch a hand as an act of courage. Let's be the generation that stops being scared and starts building. Let's imagine a reality in which kids from Ra'anana and Taible, from Lud, from Ramallah, grow not on fear but on hope. Only peace will bring security, the crowd is shouting. Friends, it is in our hands. The heritage of Rabin is not nostalgic. It's a choice between us and the courage that makes us partners. And yes, partners with political power that can change reality here. I am standing here today as a mother of Carmel, Hala, and Neil, and I would like my daughters to grow next to your children. I would like them to grow in a place that understands that diversity and differences power, a place where security builds next to justice, and peace is born out of equality. Friends, we will be the generation to bring the change that include security and peace. Shukran, thank you in Arabic.
في ليلة من هالليالي لست أدري ما تراني ظلمة تغمرني يا رب الأرض ضاقت والسماء وقلبي معرفة والدمع بات يبكي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا And maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. And it's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not someone who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Shuiti. Hallelujah. Chazak. Hallelujah. 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 Yeah, Ilahi.
תודה לוואלרי חמאטי.
Thank you, Valerie Hamati. It's my privilege to invite up Rabbi Benny Lau from Tanakh Beyachad. Shavua Tov. I would like to open my speech in this shaking evening to say something about my dad. Tonight is the memory day of his community that was murdered in Treblinka today, 83 years ago. The dates converged. And first of all, I'm here on his behalf, on the behalf of him and my mom and their generation who passed down to us this dear home, the state of Israel. I'm married to Noah from Kibbutz Saad, from the Western Negev. I'm the father of 3 reservists that together served more than 1,000 days. And they left my wife and me, their spouses and children to take care of, and went to fight for this country that we all love. On behalf of myself and my family, I'm here as a partner in this break, in this hope, in this moment of fear when dark forces tried to decide on the future of this country. But the bullets that came into the body, that entered the body of Yitzhak Rabin, hurt only also the Jewish face of the Israeli society. They released stories of hatred, of war between brothers. Since that night, the terrible night that happened here, right here, we only went far from each other, and the fear became greater. Each group was seeing itself as as Bialik says, the longer the way, the riots became terrible. No one could hear the language of his brother. For over 30 years, this struggle on the image of the Torah of the Israel. There's one Torah, but there are so many interpretations. My interpretation, my truth for the image of Judaism is very dear to me. And I speak to you on behalf of that truth. Judaism has to be a source of light and hope. The truth that Judaism has and can be diverse, wide, not narrow and dark. On the crown of Judaism is the belief in the humanity, man that was created in the image of God. And those values of the Western societies are hermetically linked to the Torah of Israel. On the other side, there are groups with large groups, with leaders who believe in another Judaism, in nationalism, power, separating from the Western world, and are proud to be an isolated nation. 3 years ago, after the elections, the last elections, a coalition came together that is challenging the values of the Judaism I act on behalf of. And separatism only grew. Only 3 days before October 7th, when the judicial reform was something that we thought as the most significant threat over the state of Israel, I was a guest, together with my good friend Ayelet Nachmias Vardi, in the Sukkah in central Israel. It was a part of a large project that I was a partner with called We'll Meet Up in the Sukkah, a project that wanted to create a meeting between 2 camps. They were led by the organization called Shomrim al Habayit HaMeshutaf, keeping the joint home, together with 972 with Moshe Ochayon from Ofakim. And while I was in the sukkah, the Otzma Yehudit entered the sukkah. Yes, you are shouting, and Ayelet and myself were sitting there, and we felt that we were shrinking on our seats. Their entrance triggered us. We left. The meeting with them was too large for me. You are applauding, but please wait patiently. I'm not here to be nice. I really felt that their Torah was threatening to me. All of my values against their values. That was 3 days before October 7th, and then it happened. Then the terrible day arrived. Our world was upside down. On that day, October 7th, Moshe Ochayon left with his sons in order to defend their home in Ofakim. He and his dad were killed while courageously fighting in Ofakim. Together with you, all of you, for many weeks, months, we visited, we went to Shivas, we tried to encourage whoever we could, and almost everywhere we arrived, people turned to me with longing eyes. Next time, don't leave the sukkah, right? 2 years went by, 2 painful years. None of us had the time to really work on what we came through, what we went through. And I know that we will not agree on the answer that I'm about to give you. Next time, I am not going to leave the sukkah. I will fight with all my might for the moral image of the State of Israel. Yes, I will try to win the elections, those same powers that twist Judaism and takes it to dark places. Yes, I will fight against every harm done by our dear Torah, even the Shabbat. On behalf of Judaism, they hurt citizens? No, I wouldn't agree to that crime. But I will not confuse between an enemy that wants to destroy me and you and my home, and those who disagree with me inside the house itself. It doesn't matter how great our disagreement is. The debate will continue. We are entering an election year, and we will do we will make an effort to light up the skies of Israel with love of humanity, with the love and light of the Torah that sees people, that sees human. We will be partners in this struggle. We will make that effort not by boycotting, not by disinclusion, not by saying bad words. It's not the way of Judaism or liberal people. We will do it in our own ways. I call on you, friends, partners, be courageous people indeed. Seek peace. I know that there are some peace seekers among us here, and I know that those who are not here maybe disdain what I'm saying, but I wish that 1% will hear us. I am not naive, I believe, and I'm full of hope, and I also remember. I remember the days and the weeks and the month right after October 7th. All of us felt that we had to give and to act in order to understand the atrocities, but also give everything we have in order to make Jewish life of solidarity, open our houses to the to those who had to leave their homes, give rides, give food, everything we can. No one asked who is voting for whom. We felt the solidarity. We felt like a one nation, Am Echad. But this is how the fate covenant looks like. I am dreaming about a covenant of a destination, not a covenant of servers, a covenant of Zionists who fights for opinions, but has the same goal of living as independent, as sovereign. Remember Yosef, who is getting closer to his brothers? They see him from afar, and they decide to do something to hurt him. The fear, the distance don't allow to create dialogue. If you indeed want to run a democratic, liberal state, let's get closer together. Let's strive for peace that starts at home. Let's be liberated from the fear. Let's choose to be life seekers and peace seekers. A year before the assassination, Rabin gave a speech in Tel Aviv, and among other things, he said the following: peace requires new definitions, education, new atmosphere, because the bitter enemy from yesterday might be the good neighbor of tomorrow. My dears, I ask you for a 1 minute of prayer. If you agree, 1 minute of prayer together. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, maker of peace. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. You will make peace on us and on all the people of the world, and say Amen.
Military ID number 30743, retired general in the Israel Defense Forces.
ואני, מספר אישי 30743, רב-אלוף במילואים יצחק רבין, חייל בצבא ההגנה לישראל וחייל בצבא השלום.
A soldier in the IDF and in the Army of Peace, I, who sent soldiers to die. There's no war without dead and wounded, and the war for peace is the only one I want to participate in. And tomorrow, on the way up to Jerusalem, many flowers will wrap the tanks that couldn't arrive in the city. Tomorrow, thousands of flowers will smile in peace. I am happy to invite Gadi Moses from Nir Oz, from Kibbutz Nir Oz, and from the Kibbutzim movement. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you. In March 1955, Yitzhak Rabin gave a speech at the memorial ceremony in the Tel Chai kibbutz. From within other ruins of another kibbutz, my kibbutz near Oz, I would like to take Rabin's words and adjust them to these days and to our 30 years after the tragedy and the courage of the Aza Otef everyone knows the story of the Western Negev committees. Everyone knows communities. Everyone knows it by now, including Kibbutz Nir Oz. The story of its members that were killed with cruelty, and the story of the courage of the members of the kibbutzim and the towns during hours in which the Nakba terrorists conquered the communities and help did not come. There were greater stories of courage in the history of the land. There were wars of choices, of no choices. Thousands were killed. But the story of Kibbutz Nir Oz exemplifies holding on to the land, security, and settlement. The story of Nir Oz and the other communities near Gaza is the essence of our life. We've been living this life for 50 years. And remember the last words of Yosef Trumpeldor, it's good to die for our land. For generations, people grew up on these words. It's a duty. And the many military cemeteries around the country are a testimony of it. And I tell all of us here, if there's no choice, if there's a sword on our neck, if there's a risk to our existence like it was on October 7th, if everything is on the balance, there's no choice, we'll go and fight and lose life. But I also say it's good to live for our land. The death is not from heaven. We can do things differently. We can at least try to get an agreement with the or an accommodation with the Palestinians, with Syria, and with Lebanon. It's good to live for our country, and we shouldn't spare any effort in order for our children and grandchildren so that they know no war. We came to Tel Aviv today to give respect to the fallen soldiers, to remember and to remind. If there's a duty, if we have to, we'll fight. But everyone, not just the friars, if we can avoid war, we'll fight for peace with all the sorrow. With all the sorrow, the pain, and the difficulty, we have to hope and believe in a state solution that will bring healing to the pains of this nation. If I, Gadi Moses, after 482 days as a hostage that were difficult, after my own personal loss and the public loss of my kibbutz near Oz and the other communities near Gaza, if I can stand here and say these things aloud, then all of us can. I have to convey this hope and this belief. We have to convince the people that choosing peace is choosing for the future and the resurrection of this nation. Rabin, before he became prime minister, was an officer, was a militant. Even he believed in that. He paid for it with his own life. He also knew to take responsibility not just for the successes. He knew that no one should be left behind. Yitzhak Rabin, right after the failing attempt to liberate Nachshon Wachsman, he said in front of everyone, I bear the responsibility for this operation that failed. I know that if Rabin were the prime minister now, no one would have been left behind. He wouldn't have given up on us, the hostages, for 2 years. He wouldn't have stopped until everyone would have gone back home, also the dead hostages. I promise you, I will not rest until the very last of the hostages returns. And I hope that you too, who came here tonight, will continue to stand alongside the families, because we have a wonderful people, we have a great military soldiers who sanctify our independence with their body and soul. I would like to thank from here the soldiers and give my condolences to the families, to the bereaved families. And I thank the warmth that our wonderful people gives to all the families of the hostages and the victims. And thank you all for coming. The crowd is shouting, "It's good to live for our nation."
הלוואי ומענן תרד עלינו קשת, הלוואי שלעולם הזה יש תקנה, הלוואי ויום יצמח מתוך סופה גועשת, הלוואי ולא תאבד לעד המתנה, הלוואי שלא נכאב לאיש אחיו יאהב, הלוואי ויפתחו שוב שערי גן עדן, הלוואי ויתמזגו מזרח ומערב, הלוואי ונחדש ימינו כאן כקדם, הלוואי ולא יישא עוד גוי אל גוי חרב, הלוואי ולא ננטוש את דרך התקווה, הלוואי והאדם יהיה רחום עד הערב, הלוואי שיש סיכוי אחד לאהבה, הלוואי שלא נכאב לאיש אחיו יאהב, הלוואי ויפתחו שוב שערי גן עדן, הלוואי ויתמזגו מזרח ומערב, הלוואי, הלוואי ונחדש ימינו כאן כקדם.
Thank you, Boaz Sharabi. 30 years ago, Yitzhak Rabin went down these stairs and was murdered here, below this stage. We will stand in his memory.
וכיכר העיר מוארת, רבבות כל אוהביך, נהרו אל העצרת, נאספו לראות פניך, את נבוך סמוק כילד, את קולך בשיר נתת, הגורל נקש בדלת, ואתה כלל לא שמעת. שוב ושוב עובר בירה, מי יכול היה לדעת מה נאמר, ואין מילים פשוטות יותר. שלום חבר, רחובות שטופים בבכי, יום ולילה בשבוע, הדמעות זולגות על לחי, אור נרות רוטט מדוע, חבריין עולה לשחר, נסוגים צללים של לילה, עוד מעט חמה זורחת, ונקום ללכת הלאה. שוב ושוב עובר בירה, מי יכול היה לדעת מה נאמר, ואין מילים פשוטות יותר. שלום חבר,
לפני 30 שנה
30 years ago,
העצרת עם שיר לשלום על הבמה בכיכר.
the rally concluded with the Song of Peace in the plaza.
נמצא דף ובו מילות
In-
השיר מוכתמות בדמו.
After the murder,
בשיר הרעות,
the song was found in his pocket full of blood.
אהבה מקודשת בדם, את תשובי בינינו
There was,
לפרוח.
there was a line that he especially liked, love blessed with blood.
והוא עוד ישוב
Today,
בינינו לפרוח.
also, our love is stained with blood and will return to bloom.
כך גם היום.
Then Miri Aloni sang the song as she will today.
קהל יקר ואהוב שלי, אני מקווה שאני לא אחנק מדמעות, כי אני נורא מתרגשת היום במיוחד. אני רוצה לספר לכם שאת שיר השלום אני שרה בשינוי של 2 מילים. במקום אל תלחשו תפילה, אני שרה גם תלחשו תפילה, כפי שבוחר לשיר אותו.
I'm changing 2 words, not to say don't say a whisper a prayer, but also say a prayer. And we'll remember all of the fallen, and we'll remember Yitzhak Rabin, how they murdered him.
אותנו לא תחזיר מי אשר קבע נרות ובעפר נטמן וחימר לא יאירו לא יחזירו לכאן איש אותנו לא ישיב מבור תחתית אפל כלא יועילו לו שמחת הניצחון ולא שירי הלל שירו איתי לכן רק שירו שיר אחרון גם תלחשו תפילה מוטב תשירו שיר לשלום בצעקה גדולה בואו איתי בקצב תנו לשמש נחתו מבעד לפרחים אל תביטו לאחור זכרו את ההולכים שאו עיניים בתקווה לא דרך כוונות שירו שיר לאהבה ולא למלחמות אל תגידו ים יבוא הביאו את היום כי לא חלמו בכל הכיכרות הריעו רק שלום שירו לכן רק שירו שיר השלום גם תלחשו תפילה מוטב תשירו שיר השלום בצעקה גדולה וכעת אתם עונים לי תנו לשמש לעלות לבוקר לעיר הזעקה שבתפילות אותנו לא תחזיר אז תגידו יום יבוא הביאו את היום ובכל הכיכרות הריעו לכן רק שירו שיר לשלום גם תלחשו תפילה מוטב תשירו שיר לשלום בצעקה גדולה ישיר ערבית רנו מענה רינו עם סלם ונעיש מען
Now in Arabic.
רנו מענה רינו עם סלם נפרח על הדוام שירו שיר שיר לשלום גם תלחשו תפילה מוטב תשירו שיר השלום בצעקה גדולה נפי ידיים נצד לצד
תודה רבה למירי אלוני.
Thank you so much to Miri Aloni. Thank you that Miri Aloni sang here like 30 years ago. The song for peace, the last song that Rabin sang before he was murdered. This is his legacy. We won't stop singing for peace and working for peace. I want to thank the speakers and the artists who are here on the stage and thank you in the public who arrived. Thank you to all of the contributors, the city of Tel Aviv, the Israel Police, Tel Aviv Station. Thanks to all. For Hatikva, I invite Shlomit Aharon. Thank you all, and good night.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. This was emotional.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for joining. And thank you, Rachina and Janet and Merav, who is not here anymore, and David and Shimrit and all the unacceptable people, and to all of you who came. This is a joint effort to save Israel and keep it democracy and Jewish democracy, seeking peace. But today was a boost of a lot of energy. And we have a crucial year in front of us. So again, thank you for being here. We'll send the links and we'll have a rerun for those who are waiting for Shabbat on the YouTube. So I will try to make it happen as soon as I can. Be peace. Let's have peace together. Bye.